All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 234. Need I say more of the Veeam Community Recap? And you know what? We have Maddie and myself in normal circumstances. That's rare nowadays. But Madalena, how are you doing today?
Good day, Rick, and good day, community. So, yeah, normal circumstances. I did not expect you to be in normal circumstances because last week when we recorded, you were like, oh, I'm going to be away. Let's see where I'm going to be. So, I was just like ready to ask you, where are you today? And you are just in the office.
You know, it is so crazy, Maddie. Starting last week, I have had like a 1 day offset. Like I've thought today is the next day. And I had it last week and then referring to this week twice. I thought Tuesday was Wednesday because I was literally going to message you yesterday, Maddie. I know you're busy, but do you have the links for the recap? Because we're up at 9:15 this morning. Then I'm like, crankies. It's Tuesday. I don't need to hustle her about it. Of course, by the end of the day, you had it. And then even last night at home, I'm like, oh guys, I got to pack up. I'm going on a trip. I'm like, wait, no, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, Thursday, we are recording on the Wednesday. Thursday, I drive to upstate New York for an event, and I'm going to drive back. And it's like a one of those tricky things where it's just easier to drive, like the flight would take longer type of thing. So going up there for one of our partner events, but I need to like look a little bit closer at the calendar, but all bets are off for next week and really the rest of the year. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. But yeah, we have prepared. You were saying that I sent it last night. I was looking through content and I was like, oh my God, this is good and this is good and this is
Yes,
good. What am I going
yes,
to take? And then
yes.
I selected some, but it's still a lot to talk about. So that's amazing.
And then we had news, and we'll save that to the end. So let's jump into it. Maddie, great selection here today. First up is, I believe, a new name, Onur Demir. Sorry about it, getting that name partially wrong or probably not that right. Talking about PowerShell commands with like practical PowerShell commands, especially around the modes of backup. This is really fantastic stuff from a new name.
Absolutely. As you said, yeah, this is first time we are calling Onur. I
Yeah.
think that's the correct pronunciation. And yeah, initially, as I said, I thought he was, one of our colleagues in Turkey, but no, he's one of our partners. So what Onur is trying to do in here, I believe it's going to be a series sharing PowerShell commands that can help us automate some workloads. And I believe we will get to see more of Onur in the next few weeks. And in this specific article, he's discussing active full backup versus synthetic full backup. And he starts with the fact that both active full and synthetic full backups create a full backup file of the entire virtual machine. But the difference here lies in how they generate this file and what resources they impact. And then
Mhm.
he goes over each of the two, giving some overview as well as then explaining the difference between the two and when should we choose one or the other. And he says like synthetic full is preferred when you want to minimize impact on production systems and network, especially with refs and xfs. And then active full preferred for starting clean backup chains, maybe verifying integrity when the repository performance is a bottleneck. And then at the end, as the title says, he's sharing a PowerShell command that gives us a list of which backup jobs in Veeam Backup and Replication are active full, which are synthetic full, and which are full on which day. So that's really great. I haven't tried the PowerShell script, but if you guys try it, let us know your thoughts on it. I think it's going to be great and looking forward to see the next one. As I said, I believe it's going to be a series.
Yeah, and I'll tell everyone right here. This is actually more than just determining am I doing the right mode. This quick report where it shows out what has active, what has synthetic, and what days. This is actually a really good indication for those of you to see how consistent is your configuration, right? especially if you've upgraded over the years and stuff like that. So this is a really important point, more for just like, which one should I do, but just kind of assessing your environment and seeing what's consistent. This is really good content. Thank you, Anur. We look forward to more for sure. All right, next up, Christian, I am Soul Eversoul, talking about the updated Proxmox support with the plugin. This is a good one.
Yeah, and specifically, he's talking about the Veeam plugin for Proxmox VE V12.1.5.17. So he's basically, he wrote an article on how to upgrade it step by step. Very thorough article as always. And in this article, he's showing us how to upgrade from the older plugin version to the new one. And he's just taking us through the simple process, which is basically just check your current version, use the Veeam Backup Replication console under help, just to verify your plugin build, and then of course install the new plugin, and then post installation just confirm that is successful of the new plugin version for the Proxmox VE 9.0. But of course, he's giving us a lot of details in there of the whole process, really step by step, a lot of print screen as he's usually doing. So if you haven't done it, if you are new to it, I think this is fantastic work in there. So you have, first of all, you have the upgrade to Proxmox 9.0, and then you also have this article to upgrade from the older plugin to the new plugin. So fantastic job in there. Thank you for that, Chris.
Yeah, and I spoke to one of my friends, Kevin, down south, you know who you are, who did this. And one thing was he had to kind of make sure all the components were aware of the new plugin, right? So if there's a proxy upgrade, see if Christian gets to that too. But basically then after this, there were some extended components that had to at least be aware, be restarted to know that the plugin was there. At least that's what was reported to me on that environment. But Christian, thank you so much. Great to see us updating stuff around new hypervisors, and we have more coming on that in this show. All right.
Yeah, very cool. Anyway, question for the community. What hypervisors do you use? Like, let us know. Do you use Proxmox?
Yeah.
Do you use some other hypervisors? We also have some news, as you said, it's like in special department news today. So just let us know in the comments. What is your favorite one? What is the best for your environment?
And what kind of content would you want featured in the community recap and just in the community in general? Because we've been putting a lot of effort to all these new hypervisors, but we want to make sure that the audience is, we're bringing the people what they want. So anyways, Okay, I got an interesting one here, Michael Melter, for this one. And this is part 3 of his series. Madi and I love a good series, by the way. And part 3, group managed service accounts, security considerations.
Yeah, so this is the 3rd episode, I believe, of the series. And Michael discusses the security implications of using group managed service accounts with VBR, and then introduces as well delegated managed service accounts. And then he's talking a little bit what's new with gMSA in Windows Server 2025. So he goes over security considerations, and he discusses the overprivileged accounts, password retrieval abuse, the Kerber Asting risk. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correct.
This word?
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one that made up words, but I'm going to call that Kerber roasting.
Kerber roasting. Okay. So for the ones that don't know the term, because I honestly didn't know this term, thanks, Michael, for sharing it. This is a technique where attackers request service tickets for accounts with SPNs and crack them offline. So interesting. And then on top of that, he continues with the recovery limitations, and then he moves to discussions about gMSAs. Windows Server 2025 introduces this new type of managed service account called the Delegated Managed Service Account, which builds on the concepts of gMSAs but adds tighter control and machine-bound authentication. And these are not currently supported by Veeam. But this is, he says, this is just an addendum to the gMSA store. And then he goes over the features and security concerns of the MSAs. And last but not least, he discusses what else is new in Windows Server 2025. So very thorough as always and very useful. So thank you, Michael, for that, and really looking forward to the next one. Let's see what's next in the series.
Yeah, you know what's weird, Maddie, is I had a dream about group managed service accounts. And it was a weird one that overnight they were discontinued, and it was a operational nightmare for the world. But it obviously was a nightmare and not a dream, and it's not real. But really ironic, Michael, that this, I think what happened, Maddie, I think subliminally, it's like I skimmed the list of content last night, and before I went to bed, I kind of had group managed service accounts on my mind. Trust me, nobody wants to be the last thing I think about before I go to bed, because it can be some scary stuff after that. So
interesting nightmare.
Too much information. I mean, I've had dreams. Remember, we talked about the dream about dips. Remember that one time? I mean, I have, and I remember the dreams, and I still remember that dream about dips. It's so weird. So interesting.
Right, interesting story, though. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Let's continue with the show here. Okay, two things. We're now on Vanguard Blog Spotlight, and this is a fantastic post from Andre Puglia out of Brazil.
I totally agree. I think that's a super cool idea and some super cool maps in there. Basically, Andre is discussing that most of the times, when we consider a repository, we mainly look at capacity, but this might just be the wrong approach. So he's talking about how to properly design and configure a direct attached storage repository using internal disks for Veeam Backup and Replication. And he says capacity alone is not enough. You have to look at performance, security, scalability, architecture. So you have to kind of consider all that. And then he's just building on all these awesome maps and linkage. So he's giving reasons why not just capacity should be considered, and also mentions at some point as an alternative, like the pre-built appliances. He says that in many cases, purchasing a ready-to-use appliance, object first, for instance, backup storage may be more efficient, because it comes optimized for Veeam with built-in security, immutability, and performance. And then he, as I said, he created this super cool mind map to illustrate the relationships between server components, disk configurations, file systems, and repository sizing. So basically to prove his point that capacity alone is not enough when choosing a repository. So I think Andre is going to keep us updated. He says, closing this article, he says, like, hey, I'm going to try and kind of come up with more details and update. So looking forward, I'm sure this is just the first time we are mentioning. We are going to keep mentioning it as we go. Thank you, Andre, for putting this together.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is I've been managing storage and related systems basically the entire part of my professional career, which is very long. I'm not going to give you a number, everyone, but it's very long. But when you think about all these attributes, every single one of them matter. Where you end up, like here or here, or even better if you're over here. But then which one do you have? And then if you're back, what is this? And then you can go backwards and think about this and this and this actually really matters. Every single one of these things matter, and just to visualize it, Andre, double love. This is fantastic. So thank you so much. Happy to feature you on this week's Vanguard Blog Spotlight. All right. We still got several tabs, Maddie. Do we need a break? You want to just keep on going?
Let's give it going. I think we have a lot of amazing special department news.
All right. So let's put the special in special department. I want to give a massive shout out to these three above and beyond members of the Women and Allies in Tech group, Kira, Jess, and Leah. They have an upcoming online event about leveling up skills in the lab. I think this is fantastic. And then we got a very interesting observation about this event.
Yes, it's going to be fantastic. This is the second, basically, this is the second event that we are organizing in the weight group. And they really passionate, these three ladies, about community, about technical subjects, about empowerment, about engagement. So look at that number, exactly how many people register for this and how many people are supporting this group. I'm very happy to see that. And I think it's going to be also very interesting. This is also like a series, as you see, it's part one. So more is coming, but we're going to start slowly and with some easy topics. It's start learning about Veeam by building a small lab on your computer. And this is going to be with community edition. So it's going to be with free resources, and we had a call like last week, and we discussed about the formatting and how we want to organize it. So really, really proud of these three ladies, really looking forward for this event that's going to be next week. I think it's going to be Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. That's your time, 11 a.m. New York time.
The 4 CET, if I'm
Yeah. So I believe it's 6 p.m. Eastern European time, so that's going to be a 5 Central. So it's kind of good for Americas and Europe in general. So really, really great event. If you haven't registered for it, just let's register and support the ladies. Ask your questions. They really, really looking forward to just be engaged, to have a super engaged event.
Yeah, two comments, one funny, one serious. The serious comment is look how many of these signups are what we call new here. Maddie and I were, really happy to see like some of the familiar faces, Veeam 100 and such joining, but so many of these folks are new here. So big shout out to that. And then the one funny comment is, Leah, are you going to bring your dog? And then secondly, Kira, I know you're going to bring Utbi to the show. So Jess, we need something to pair up with your profile picture. So.
She's bringing Alfred.
Okay, all right, there we go. Alfred works. We'll let it pass this time. No, seriously, thank you, Kira, Jess, and Leah. And I think we're going to see all three at the summit. If I'm
I do hope so. Well, there are few inconvenience there, but hopefully we will.
Got it. I know for sure some of the group will be there for sure. So I'm excited for that. All right. Moving on, special department. Let's shift it over to VUG India with Muhammad Ali and Jagar from Veeam talking about V13. Always a lot of interest on that. And this looks like it'll be great the very next day on the 8th, it looks like.
Yeah, that's going to be great as well. Always like, V13 is still like a new topic and people want to find out more. And I believe this is not going to be in English, even though, the description and the title is in English. I do think it's going to be in Hindi. So, so this is like for the Indian market. So if you haven't registered yet again, and you have interest in V13, just go ahead. You still have time. It's still good registration in there, but I know we can do better.
Oh, goodness, Maddie putting the smack down. Love it. Awesome. Thank you, Mohammed, and thank you, Jakar. And I apologize if I got really either of those names wrong. Thank you for leading this content. All right, keeping on with the VUGs, another fantastic community. This one will be in Brazilian Portuguese. I did the right-click convert to English. Wesley, one of the Veeam MVPs, former Vanguard, and Beth and Joaquin, if I got that wrong, sorry, are talking about some practical lessons from that support perspective. I think that's fantastic. This will be another same day, the 8th, another fantastic online event.
It's always like a great interest, when we have support, somebody from support, and like practical cases, you're always going to get like a big crowd, and you're going to get engagement and a lot of people, just showing interest. So I can already see they have like, I'm not
32.
sure, 32. Yeah. So it's always doing great. I know they had Wesley before, and it was good, engaging event. So thank you, Wesley, for being part of this and supporting Beth and Joachim. Always fantastic. And well, we know that the VUG Brazil is always strong, and we have a lot of fans in there, a lot of community members. So always great to see everyone. And this is going to be next week.
Yep, 8th. A little bit late for you.
Very or early, depends how you put it.
Okay, Brazil never disappoints on community. It's hard to pick a country that has the strongest singular Veeam community, but Brazil would be in the conversation. So thank you, Beth. Thank you, Joaquin. Thank you, Wesley, and others. There's so many others at the Brazil VUG that deliver and drive excellence. So thank you so much. All right, next up, post from her Madalena herself, the blog of the month for September 25. Some of these we've even, one of these we focused on today, a couple of them from last week. One of them I think is new. So nonetheless, we've got 6 very good choices, and looks like they have to choose by October 6th.
Yeah, so there is still plenty of time to vote. I can see that there are a lot of votes already. You are pending a vote in there.
I didn't yet, and it's really important. Can't be logged in, because then you'll see what I voted for.
Yes, I know it. But yeah, just help us, because, it's great content. Just vote for your favorite. Help us give a nice badge this month as well. I mean, all of the 6, it's difficult to choose. I know.
It is. So thank you, Maddie, for curating that. All right. Still in special department, new product alert, right? This one snuck out of the forums yesterday, end of the month special beta of the XCP NG hypervisor. And it's ironic because the V100 knows a little bit more, and this may or may not correlate to Shane Williford's post that we've been having.
Exactly. We actually mentioned his post like 2 weeks ago, I think. I was still in Colombia, when we discussed it. And we were actually asking the question, is this going to be supported? Is not going to be? You didn't really want to say anything at that point. But yeah, I guess the Veeam 100 knew a little bit more. But great stuff. I'm happy to see this coming to life, because this discussion around XCP NG has been around for a few years already. So it's great to finally see we have a beta and it's going that direction.
I love that it is coming out with these 2 things, the malware detection, Sure Backup Lite, and manual scan. Really powerful to see how a base hypervisor, as we extend the platform here, really awesome. And big shout out to Pavel P. Tide. That's who that is. Pavel Tide, one of our product managers, a fantastic resource. We'll be seeing him early next month. So congratulations. And then Anton himself took a post about it, and 2 to 3 hypervisors in the next couple of months. Scale, Hypercore has been out, VM Essentials, and here now is XCP-NG. And what's interesting is that, and Anton goes on to say here, while not QA'd, it's working on, apparently it works on native Zen server, right? So, I love the way that the Veeam product management team, when they introduce these platform support capabilities, to just dig into a platform and, we used to say it just works, and it's good to see that still happening. So big congratulations, R&D team.
Totally.
All right. Whew. But guess what? There's more. Time for Who's New. Straight from the desk of Sophia, we are welcoming plus 119 members this week. Rookie 2.4, Shoe Maja. What's a Shoe Maja? I don't know. Voodoo, Space Blade, and Smarty Pants. Now, Smarty Pants is pretty funny because this is a pretty smart neighborhood to say that you're Smarty Pants.
Yeah, it's an interesting username for like a kind of business platform, but okay.
You know, we see some interesting things come through that we don't relay them all up, and there's even logic to prevent like expletives in the usernames and stuff. But big welcome, everyone. I don't know what a shoe maja is, unless it's
shoe. It's a shoe.
I know
like
what a shoe is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Maja, who knows? Maybe it's the name Maja.
Yeah, maybe that makes sense.
Might be a brand.
And
who
they
knows?
like shoes, so who knows?
Let us know.
Yeah. All right, Madalena, thank you so much for rocking out the content here with me this week.
Absolutely, my pleasure as always, and not that jet lagged anymore.
Yay!
Getting better.
Well, you know what's really interesting? I am like level 9 out of 10. I'm like high energy today. I was telling you earlier. The Biketron to work. I'm back on the bike, so I've got like this incredible energy coming into work here. We'll see how I crash in the afternoon. But I'm trying to just, focus a little bit on wellness, and biking to work is a really easy one. So got the bike right behind me here. I'll probably break everything, but there you can see it. Got the Biketron there in the office. But we'll see what we're up for next week. We'll be in New York City, so I'll probably keep the show, but take it on the road. I think we'll do that.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Just stay with us.
Stay with us. Bear with us. We don't know what 235 will be like, but we'll bring you something. All right, Maddie, thank you again so much for everything today. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week on 235.